Chasing coke money and investing in computers. Trying to reach the next level. Rolex with the ice bezel. Coming through the ghetto in the Porsche Carrera. For now, I play the back of the cruiser. Light up the sack for the 3-time losers. Pour out the beer, bust off the Ruger. Ladies and gentlemen, bullets will leave you trembling, shooken up. I got my Cuban mommy cooking up. We got it all from Heron to fish scale. New York to Israel, get knocked, I'm getting bail. My style is flashy like the 5 of strobes. Goons around the globe, honeys wearing silk robes. Time to flip the script, bust the whip. Legend with the chip, dark blue with my trunk dip. To the feds, catch me if you can. I'ma still transport with my man on the Peter Pan. Quick to get there, bury the bricks in the sand. They think I want a 10, I'm waiting on 100 grand. So I can hit the mo and take a shower. Head back to the airport, and now that money in the tower. Stash box with the kid. L to the O to the X, you'll see.
Bad boy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? You'll see. You'll see. Bad boy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? You'll see. You'll see. See? It's 1996, man. And we gonna do the same thing we did to you in 95. We gonna keep hearing you in your head with all that.
Yeah, alright then, you better act like you know. L to the O, X amount of flow. Ain't nothing changed but the range since I got the inf. Dot on your head, take on your strength. Yeah, I'm in it for the green. I get up in your scenes while you stunning me like a nigga from Queens. My tape in your dude cassette running me. Wanna get in front of me, player, but you can't get none of me. Better off gunning me with hot slugs numbing me. Cause you and I both know the flow is coming, bitch. When you want it now or later, I get mine and slide like a fresh pair of gators. With my mega click involved with Montega bricks. Niggas is mega sick and you know we roll mega thick. Up north when they bust your man in the custom van, interrupt your plans. Now it's back to grams. Damn, ain't that something? All that in front. What you gon' do? Nothing. So let's keep things rationalized. Everything I write but a nationalize. I'm into getting money, twisting honeys. Niggas is buying coops while you on the stoop looking funny. I'm a scorer. Shorty love the whole aura. Pussy wasn't all that. That's why I never call her. It's all about quick flips and fat nicks. Gats with mad clips, TVs in your whips. My style type like Gotti when I touch you. Caesar Piccati or Versace joints with the buckle. Get the facts. I'm trying to get the beamer with the hatch. Cop one for my man, so our shit's match. Running around all crazy, twisting honey's back and breaking niggas that come to gamble with small stacks. Really though, screw y'all, I never knew y'all. Your click be like yellow lights. I'm running through y'all.
Bad boy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? You'll see. Bad boy, what you gonna do when they come for you?
While I'm dancing in the mansion.
You'll see. Bad boy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? You'll see. You'll see.
Niggas talking it but ain't living it. Crystal poppin', sipping it. Mob hats and lizard shit. Data chunks, bitch. Rolling blunts with the williest of the willy. Hitchlink cop, M1s and 9 milli. Stories like a motherfucker. Model bitches wondering if I'ma fuck with her. She know I treat my bitches like Gabbana. Dolce and Gabbana dripping. Big Papa, never slipping. H-class diamonds, shining. Dinner with wifey, whining, dining. Smoking cigars in Bogota with Colombian niggas named Panama and Enrique and shit. Games we play, life ending. Bitches bending over with ease. 4 pair Mosquito jeans and dollar carrying tank top. I got your bank stock. Singles on top. Benjamins under the rest of them. Advancing from duplex to mansion. Stashing keys. Hiding G's overseas. PCRs in my beats. Game elevates. Money I make into stocks and real estate, bitch. Jet skiing in the Caribbean. White sand. Discussing plans with my man. Dark blue land. Smoke tint. Chrome rims in the system that leave my rear views trembling. What you gonna do when Papa catch your attitude? Drop to your knees and show gratitude. Kiss my ring. It's a Frank White thing. I stay potent. Bitches devoted. Take my dick and deep throw it.
You'll see.
Don't stop me.
You'll see.
Niggas had the nerve to ask me, yo, who you got, the LOX or DipSet? I'm like, fam, that's not even a discussion. That's not even a discussion. You understand? I don't want to toot my horn. I don't want to be on some I told you. I did a show on Monday. The battle took place on Tuesday. I did Melanin Mondays on Monday, and I said it right there. I said the locks is definitely the advantage because not only are they the underdog, right? And that's a whole nother situation, but the longevity, the history, what they represent when you wait a two out, you know what I mean? And that's exactly what we were able to see, the difference between an MC and the difference between a rapper. Nothing to take away from the two, right? But a week before that, I did a Melanin Mondays and I was talking about Rolling Loud. And I was like, damn, I was watching Rolling Loud for 3 days, right? I'm in the crib for 3 days and every day it's about 100 acts. They had it on, they were live streaming it on 4 different YouTube channels. So each channel represented a stage. So each stage, they had about 30 acts each day. And these were all quote unquote trap rappers, drill rappers, trap rappers, drill rappers, gangster rappers, hoe rappers, all of the different genres, right? It wasn't no backpack rappers, but it was everybody that was, you know, in the drill world, in the rager world, Young Thug, Little Uzi Vert, the Baby. That's the shit where the Baby got his where he caught his charge. You know what I'm talking about? Cause that nigga is he's being persecuted right now. He's being persecuted in a court of public law. This is a different type of case. But anyway, we'll talk on that as well. But I was like, damn, at the Rolling Loud, these niggas is rapping over their vocals. And I watched like 300 niggas do that this weekend. And these are the top artists of the genre. These people, they had a crowd of about 100,000, and they wasn't going off of their quote unquote. They wasn't going off of their dome. They were doing the vocals, and they wasn't even performing the whole songs. They was just picking up where they wanted to. Right? They were just picking up where they wanted to. And I was like, I don't think I would want to go to a whole festival and go through that. I don't know if I want a nigga to put together a whole concert where he's just, because there's a difference between those festivals and actually going to a concert to see an artist. But last night, we got to see an answer that you don't need to ask any more questions. There's 2 type of artists that exist in the industry right now. There's legacy artists and there's also MCs, right? And then there's non-legacy artists. Not to say that that's what DipSet is, because they're a legacy artist as well. But you have non-legacy artists and then you have rappers. The majority of the artists who have gotten into the industry just to rap so they could get money, and they followed the footsteps of somebody who said it before them. Like, nah, I'm just rapping, nigga. I'm not into this hip hop shit. I'm not an MC, right? I don't do that. I do rap. I'm a trap rapper. I'm a snap rapper, right? I'm a TikTok rapper. You feel me? I'm a drill rapper. These are just people that is out here rapping. They're making words rhyme, but it's really a hustle to them. They're here to make the money, right? They're here for the perks. You saw Beanie Siegel's Drink Champ interview. I didn't say it. He said it. He said, I didn't know the business. He said, I stumbled upon just becoming a rapper. That wasn't even my idea. I was really in the streets like that. I really didn't want to, I didn't want to live out my talent and my skill like that. Right? And then when I got in, I didn't know the business. He didn't know who Liar Cohen was, and he pulled out a gun on him. Come on, B. That's supposed if Jay-Z and Dame Dash cared about their artists, the first thing that they would tell them is this that you see that guy right there down the hall, the tall one? Yeah, that's Liar. Listen to what pay attention to what when he comes in a room, because he runs this whole shit. You feel me? They didn't tell him that, and he admitted that he pulled a gun out on him because Liar said something slick to him about he probably didn't know how to read or something. He got in his feelings. Yeah, Cam got booed with the corny freak. Look, man, there's a lot of things that happened last night that is this all is a lesson. We all got a chance to see history from a musical level. Remember, music is a time machine. Music is a time machine. From the minute the DJ got on, right? From the minute that the DJ got on, before the artist came out, I appreciated the time that the artist took to come out, because I wanted to hear when the DJ started juggling, especially when it's all New York shit. When it was all New York shit and a little bit of West Coast things, that's when he was really setting the mood. Then he started playing the modern day shit. But it was a good contrast because it showed me and it showed a whole bunch of other people like, damn, that music sounds, feels, and it is different. Once certain type of music passed a certain type of a certain year, those years are indicative of record labels being taken over. Those years are very indicative of when you see the industry, the machine that the industry is, and what music is overall, the power that shit is. When you start to see that shit get marginalized, you could tell through the music. When I said before when I did the show on Monday, I pointed out that the unique thing about the LOX and the unique thing about Cameron in particular is that they all tie into Biggie, not Jay-Z per se. They really tie into Big. The LOX started out right before Big got murdered and assassinated. They got signed and they was rubbing shoulders with Big, and they did this song and they did the other song for the album and whatnot. And then Cam gets discovered by Big, who puts him on the and then he gets signed, and then now we get introduced to Cam. That's a Biggie cosign, right? So they come from a unique era. They come from the era that I talk about often called the tunnel era. And when the DJ was juggling and when he was getting it warmed up and whatnot, I feel like they should have had a more professional DJ. No offense to the brother that was DJing, but I think a legacy DJ should have been up there. A mixtape DJ, really DJ Clue should have been up there, spinning the records and whatnot. Maybe even Funkmaster Flex, because of the aspect of this being the tunnel era. This was all y'all felt, the energy of the tunnel era. Keep in mind, you got a glimpse of the energy because you would have to throw in Mobb Deep, you would have to throw in Jay, you would have to throw in Murder Inc., you would have to throw in a whole bunch of people in order to really fit what was going on in the tunnel. You dig what I'm saying? But that was a glimpse right there. That was a glimpse. That's how New York was really giving it up. And it also showed you beyond a reasonable doubt that Ebro, right? Because he's the program director, and there's a few other culprits that have ruined New York hip hop deliberately, right? They favor other artists over other artists, and they have single-handedly, in my humble opinion, they one of the reasons why New York is not on a square and why New York is on some other shit right now. It's because of the program directors and the people and the artists that they don't promote, that are from the city, and the music that they don't promote. This has already the classic shit that these artists already, these catalogs are magical. These catalogs are they're nostalgic, right? Nostalgia is a good thing for individuals who are out here both trying to learn from their heal from their childhood, right? 2, For people who were born after the music came out, they get to get in a time machine and they get to relive some times when, because there's people that are even on this live that was born in 2000. This music that you heard last night, this is 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2003, 2004, 2005. Some of y'all was 5 years old. When we was at the tunnel in 94 and 95 and 96, there was a majority of people wouldn't even thought of. Or they was in the baby crib. They was in the goddamn carriage. So the nostalgia of us sharing the history to take you to a place where you probably have just heard. You might have never heard about any of this. You might have never known anything of who the LOX was. Who the hell is DipSet? It don't mean you from Boise, Idaho. You know, you listen to Taylor Swift, or you have new artists that you grew up listening to, and there's a plethora of them down south or on the West Coast and whatnot, and you might not know nothing about New York hip hop. But I'm here to let you know that we pay homage to foundation. If I any culture that I'm involved in, you have to bring me to primal source. You got to show me what foundation is. I need to study the DNA of things. So anybody calling themselves hip hop, if you benefit off of this culture has certain tenets to it. This culture has certain disciplines to it, as you saw last night. If you say that you are part of the culture and you want to represent the culture, there's standards to the culture. There's levels to the culture. You dig what I'm saying? There's levels to this shit. Because everybody could put on, because man make the clothes don't make the man. Meaning that, nigga, you the one that you make the movie. You know what I'm talking about? You shoot them. You shooting your lights, camera, action. You the governor. You the Gomar Oz Dubar. It's in your hands, right? Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. It's in your hand. It's on you. You get out there and you play like Mike, but you have the confidence to play like Mike because you know that you've been in the you've been shooting in the gym like Kobe was. Mamba mentality, right? You were shooting in the gym. You know the hours that you put in. You know that you put in practice and whatnot. You know that you in step with the people that you say that you a team and that you playing with. Practice makes perfect. This was a perfect lesson for anybody that's doing anything in life. You don't have to even be into hip hop. Just, if you watch the Olympics, then you should tap into the verses because this was the hip hop Olympics. You know what I'm talking about? This is the hip hop Olympics. And the WarLox, they help restore something that's being destroyed and taken away, and it's being threatened right before our very own eyes. We talked about this on Monday, and that's hypermasculinity, right? So hypermasculinity is being, there's a war, there's a culture war, and hypermasculinity is in the sights of that culture war. Hyperdemasculation is the opposite of what you're seeing. And it's a thin line between hypermasculinity and hyperdemasculation. You dig what I'm saying? There's a very thin line. It's about one or two molecules that separate the two. But the hypermasculinity of what the baby represents as an archetype, I'm not, he could be, his hypermasculinity could be to whereas he may be, the archetype of what the European sees as the buck, right? The buck, the wild buck and whatnot. The plantation Negro, henceforth, his conversation, his narrative, especially later on in the game, it was highly explicit and whatnot. It was real buck-like. So you're seeing this man go through an initiation of a buck breaking, right? And the buck breaking is taking place before our very own eyes. They just had a letter come out today where 12 LBGT high officials, like the priesthood of these niggas, they want to sit down and they want to meet with the artists the baby. You know what I mean? About the apology. And they say they want to educate him about the agenda. Right? So that's the same route that Nick Cannon took. He had to go on an apology tour and he had to sit down and he had to get educated about the agenda. That's what they did to Nick Cannon. They did the same thing to which one of those? I think it was it LeBron? It was another athlete. It was an athlete that they did the apology tour thing to as well, and started putting them on tour. You know, you got to go to apology festivals. So they passed Nick Cannon around. They had Nick Cannon booking rabbis on his show, introducing his audience to rabbis like we asked to hear from the rabbis. And that's not what his channel was created. His channel was created in response to what Tariq Nasheed was doing with Hidden Colors. His channel was created, Cannon's class. It was created in the same wind of the multiple platforms that were out there that was pushing woke and consciousness. So to bring somebody on, to bring people on board, that they're selecting his guests now, from what it appears. He's bringing people on from like the Howard, the Howard departments. I don't know who he has as guests, but what I do know is after they took away, right, his checks, they dried up his shows. Same thing that they're doing with Homeboy with the baby. They drying up his shows. They're going to cancel a few of the things in the future. They're going to tell him sit down for a little while and pop back up. And then we'll help you, we'll be there to hold your hands while you climb back up. And we'll reward you down the line based off of your probationary period. The same thing they did with Nick Cannon. Sit down, be quiet. You know what I mean? Relax. We'll give you your show back and a few other things if you follow these steps right here. And those were the steps that he followed meticulously. This nigga was on a tightrope. He was on a tightrope. And this is another thing that, you have to also keep in mind, the power of PR, right? The power of public relations, the power of having a team. These artists, in my humble opinion, and it's just my humble opinion, I don't know everything, but it would fare better if these artists were to develop PR teams that are not inside of that quote unquote machine or matrix that they are involved in. I'm suggesting PR teams of people who are, intellectually adept, and they know how to speak the language of corporations. What a PR person does is they it's almost like hiring a lawyer to speak for you. It's almost like, the industry, it's almost like hiring a lawyer to speak legalese for you, because when you're in the courtroom, the way that you give it up, the way that you communicate, the way that you're able to talk, the way that you're not a code switcher, so you're going to just say what you say. There has to be an intermedium that has the ability to interpret what you're saying and to speak it in a corporate tongue. You understand? This is a business at the end of the day. Business is business. It's something called corporate policy. It's something called the corporate policy dictates the mandates that you have to abide by. And that's why lawyers are important. That's why PR is important. That's why you have to understand the languages that are being spoken. You could say some slick shit, but it should be filtered through public relations, PR, a PR firm. We need a whole firm that's going to help these Negroes articulate themselves, because they don't understand the game of chess that they're playing. They don't understand when you put a statement out and you're a pop star and you're a top artist and the whole industry could see that this nigga did not filter that statement through PR. He's just emoting. Oh, they go crazy. They push all kind of buttons. It's like the Truman Show. LeBron started tweeting. I remember when they had the marches and he was getting all upset and he was sending shit out that was unfiltered. It wasn't going through Rich Paul. They shut his ass down. They stopped him. The baby, when he put his first statements out, you could tell that he did not have any filter, anything, and but there was no filter. There was no. It wasn't speaking the industry language. They pumped his brakes. They pumped his brakes. They piled up on top of him. Nah, nigga. Push attack. You're not going to go ahead and go off the rails, because once you start speaking your mind, you're going to spark these other niggas to start emoting and speaking their mind and seeing things and waking up and feeling a type of way. And that's what they fear the most. If you ever want to see the internet get shut down, just wait till the day when niggas start waking up in mass. They see a mass awakening, they're going to shut the internet down. How they be shutting down Twitter for a few hours, they will pull the plug on you niggas. Watch. The same way that they do in little islands and little countries where the people start rising up and they be cutting the internet off. The day you niggas decide to collectively, because the individual shit don't cut it. You know what I'm talking about? The day that collectively we level up and niggas the green lights start coming on, they're gonna shut it down. That's a fact. You know? That's a factory. So if it happens, don't be surprised, nigga. Like, don't get caught off guard and whatnot. Just see it when you see it coming. Just know what it is. At the end of the day, if the baby shit and a whole bunch of other little things like the Olympics and some other shit has not shown Negroes in 2021, 21 Savage, that it's time to own some shit, what are we talking about? How you niggas gonna get kicked out of the garden and we're in New York? A time limit, nigga. If you brought your extendo, rinse that. You know what I mean? Niggas only live once. We all made it through COVID. You know what I'm talking about? Will I get in trouble if I told niggas to put your hands in the air if you don't have COVID Crispus or, you know, the Delta variant? But if we came to see a battle on Versus, you niggas sold your brand to Apple and a whole bunch of other people, right? You supposed to have gotten millions of dollars. You niggas can't extend the time so these rappers could get their shit off. You know what I mean? Like, this is the culture. This is the culture. We deserve time slots, niggas. They should not be cutting nothing hip hop short. Especially with the legends and whatnot. They should never cut nothing short of what we do. And the fact that in on the internet, right? On the internet, where everything is free. You could broadcast 28 hours a day. You on the fucking internet. And you still gotta cut your shit short. That just shows you that all of those 8 balls the niggas collectively was selling between D Block and the fucking DipSet, they could have bought their own stadium. You know what I'm talking about? It's not really that hard to build a dome, my nigga. You know, I'm just saying. Ownership. We should own some shit. Too many, all of these legends these legendary rappers from that we see on Drink Champs from the 90s and whatnot, all of the concerts and the tours that they've done around the world, my nigga, I want to see them all be owners of something. You see the wealth of hip hop? You see the wealth of hip hop? People can't stop talking about last night. It lit a spark. The music is a time machine. We needed that. While they was attacking the baby and while they was attacking hypermasculinity, because the archetype of hypermasculinity is in the tropes of the culture. The culture has tropes of the coon, the zip coon. It has tropes of the Jezebels. It has tropes of the Jim Crow. It has tropes of many different characters. This is all a minstrel show. This whole shit is a minstrel show. So the music industry and even the movie industry, politics, and a whole bunch of other things that we are seeing has these same tropes. The LOX, DMX, certain artists like that, they would fit into a trope of the hyper masculine, the macho man, right? They would fit into that category. As a matter of fact, if you want to say it in the historical terms, if we are in Rome, when in Rome, the LOX represent the Carthaginians. If we're in Rome, DMX and the D block and the LOX energy, that shit represents Carthage, Hannibal Barker, nigga. Them niggas, that's hard, that's darker, that's Hannibal Barker energy right there. You understand? And the Romans and whatnot, you know, the Romans with all of the Roman designer on and whatnot, you know, they would represent the complete opposite spectrum. And I'm not gonna call it the DipSet, but they would represent the betas. They would represent the zetas. You feel me? That LOX energy, that street energy, that primal energy, you niggas need that vaccine right there. You talking about Moderna, that's the shot you niggas need right there. You after watching, you need to wash your eyes out after watching all that Little Nas X marathon and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? You niggas you needed a shot of testosterone in your fucking lymph nodes last night. You know what I mean? You needed that shot. You needed that reminder, you know, of elite MCing. Master of ceremony, right? Bars, nigga. Shit to make you stink. Make you stink and be like, give you the stink face. Bars. Because that's what they were giving you. That's what they were giving you. And goddamn it, I could tell now beyond a reasonable doubt because like I said, I watched Lollapalooza and I watched Rolling Loud. I understand what's going on with the music right now. When in Rome. And I understand my assignment. I understand my assignment. I see what's taking place. I see what's missing. I see what they took away from us. And I can't say they. I don't know who the fuck they is, but it was taken away from us. You know? It was taken away from us. What I saw displayed by the DipSet is completely opposite of what I would you know, that I would say the vision of my team in the future would be like. I don't do fake kicking it. Because if I, you know what I mean? That's what you saw on the stage last night. I don't do fake kicking it. If I don't fuck with you, I'm going to just spare you, you know, my presence. And I'm not going to stand on stage with you. I'm really not going to be around you like that. I'm not with fake kicking it. I'm only fucking with people that I'm solid with. Last night with the DipSet, because of the fact that they've broken up and they haven't made amends to whatever has driven a wedge between them, they was up there fake kicking it. You know, they don't love each other's songs enough to finish their bars and whatnot. They didn't rehearse. They didn't, wherever they were at, they didn't get together for a whole week and just go all the way in and come up with a routine. They didn't sequence their songs. They didn't study each one's verse, so they didn't need the quote unquote the background vocals. They didn't make it to sound check because the mics were trash compared to the mics that the LOX had. You could tell that they made their soundtrack. This nigga Jada, he made sure that shit sounded superior sound wise. And that right there makes the difference. Audio is the key to everything. It's music. So the audio aspect of music is at the highest. It's the sound, of course. Right? The DipSet, I spoke about it as well. They represent a level of hypermasculinity, but they also represent a level of hypermasculinity when, you know, we saw it in Superfly. You know what I mean? We saw it in Superfly with Pretty Tony and all of that. We see it in Harlem with the DipSet and whatnot, where, you know, they kind of opened up that door for the sassy gangster. You know what I mean? Gangsters were sassy now. And after that, you know, shit just started changing up a little bit. Shit started changing up, you know. And then we enter a whole new era. And fast forward to where we're at today, I saw that Rolling Loud. And if you pay attention, you'll see it as well. They have replaced an archetype that didn't exist before the DipSet popped up. An archetype of Lil Uzi Vert, Young Thug with Punk, Gunna. Let me see. I would even say Travis. Travis is, you know, Travis is kind of on that spectrum. Kid Cudi with the dress on, definitely. Tyler put out a tweet today and said that I don't even want to repeat what he said, but he was trying to holler at I think he be trolling, but he's allegedly on plays on both sides of the coin. He was trying to get at Jadakiss, bro. You know, so when DipSet came on the scene, I can honestly say things in Harlem, you know, begin to shift. Shift is the word. Yeah, Tyler says some moist. He says some. It's not even moist. It's beyond. He says some real bussified things, but you know, I'm just pointing out that this is the new generation that we're living in, where in the future, little Nas X is gonna be atting other rappers. He's gonna be atting them and probably sending emojis to niggas. Like that's where it's headed. But this is the new sassy shit. Artists like Little Uzi Vert, artists like Young Thug, who has a street. His name is his shit rings in the trenches. He's Omar come to life. He's Omar come to life in a sense, cause he wear a dress on his album covers, but he's a sassy gangster in Atlanta. Little Uzi Vert, he got the weird dance, but he's a sassy gangster in Philly. He was chasing the other rapper down. Lil Wayne with Birdman, right? Because you have to be able to peel the layers back and see, like I said, I was there. I'm an OG. I'm able to give you an honest, I still have my faculties in order, right? I haven't smoked it all away. I never got on hard drugs. You know what I mean? I fixed my diet. I'm able to hold on to my memory. So I could walk y'all through this shit and point to shit that you probably have no idea of because you wasn't there. But that Lil Wayne, it was Rap City, nigga. If you want to keep it a buck, it was Rap City when they did it with Habit first, where they kissed each other on Rap City and niggas sat there and was like, what the fuck did I just see? Like, it happened twice. And then Gilly had leaked a picture where they was basically on the porch swapping spit. You know what I mean? And then that's shit. There goes your sassy gangster right there. There goes Thuggalicious. There goes it's an archetype, right? It's an archetype. And these archetypes have manifested into a whole industry now. So the opposite of that spectrum, like I said, is a time before where men were really just on some manly shit. Men were really on some, whatever their idea of what men are like, because people would try to contest that. Well, what does that mean? What's a man? The men who we were raised by in the 70s and the 60s, these strong men, these archetypes of power and whatnot, these men were firm, stern, strong, fearless, and their children began to show those traits of that. So in New York City, right, regardless of what New York City, the industry behind the scenes was getting down with and what they was on the surface, you don't have a lot of situations where rappers was out here wearing dresses, bro. And playing games like that and whatnot. That didn't happen until recently. Like when you look back into mixtape New York hardcore, and keep in mind, like I said, there's a thin line between hyper masculinity and hyper effeminacy, right? There's a thin line because in jail where you got when you have people who are considered to be the highest of hyper masculine, boom, they they're bending the spoons. But I'm talking about when you think about the pantheon of golden era hip hop, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim Allah, Cool G Rap, the whole Juice Crew, right? Craig G and whatnot. And just going down the line, the archetypes that these quote unquote artists represented, you know what I mean? They were pretty they were pretty much like men. You know what I mean? Like they had character, they had integrity. Terry Crews twerking in Friday After Next. Yeah, man. That was crazy. Keep in mind that the era that we're talking about, this is the 80s. When you look at the documentaries on Netflix and other places, and they show you New York in the 70s and whatnot, where it was burnt down and desolate and it looked like Gotham and whatnot, you got to keep in mind that this is children coming out of poverty. These are people coming out of abject situations, third world shit that we not even seeing right now, dystopian shit. You know what I mean? And everybody just wanted to get out of poverty and whatnot. And, a lot of people were compromised as a result of that. You know what I mean? Like, it's all kind of ills in the world of poverty. You know what I'm saying? People had mental health issues from day one. But, they managed to create this culture. And this culture has blossomed into a $1 trillion culture. This global, I'm talking about, there's no corner of the globe that hip hop hasn't reached. Right? This is a rich culture. You set the price. We are the culture. You know what I'm talking about? We have the opportunity to participate in the culture just by waking up and choosing violence. Be like, yo, I just want to be in the culture today. I wanna I wanna put together some art, right? Paying homage to the culture, using quote unquote elements of the culture, motifs of the culture. I want to break dance today. I want to write poetry today. I want to write a movie and a novel and a script, but I want to write it from the angle I'm going to walk through it through the door of the culture. I'm going to utilize the pen of the culture. I'm going to write it in the culture's language and whatnot. Some of us are multicultural. So we have the opportunity to tap into multiple consider yourself, talented and gifted and use it, for your benefit. But this culture benefits anyone who, if you look on Instagram, the people that are selling courses, the people that are selling clothes, the people that are selling sea moss, the people that are selling fruits and vegetables, the people that are selling gold water and health products and all kind of things, they're doing it through the lens of hip hop. Right? They're standing in the culture as they do it. You dig what I'm saying? Even if somebody's out here, you wearing designers, you hopping out of foreigns, nigga, that's the culture. Fuck is you talking about? You was in you got your marching orders, you got your download from Jadakiss. You know what I'm talking about? You came up in the tunnel era. You were influenced by the culture. You feel me? That's the culture. When you listen to lyrics, like listen to Jada's lyrics. I'm listening to the lyrics. I'm like, everything that the trap rappers are saying, Jada already said it. Every name brand that these niggas be talking about they wearing, there's rappers who was talking about that in the 90s. Like, they already talked about those foreigns. They was talking about those bags. It's just that different rappers say it in different ways, in different tonalities, different melodies on different beats. But to be honest with you, it's not a lot of new shit under the sun. And certain artists say it with double entendres and bars. And then some artists are just saying words that rhyme. It's a difference. Cheat code. And I'm going to bring this to my Stream Chasers Academy. As a matter of fact, I might even have this campaign lead the rollout for the academy that's gonna be very soon. Imagine a school for rappers to become MCs. I'm gonna just leave it at that. You understand? Because that income stream just opened up last night. Like an ocean. Nobody wants to get caught like DipSet in their professional career. That could be a career killer. You understand? You want to know, what the fuck do I have to do to perform on that stage in front of thousands like Jada motherfucking Kiss, Chic Luch, and Styles P? Whatever the blueprint is that you niggas can share, I'll be a humble student to learn that. Because, nigga, that's a superpower. You understand? That's the shit that I signed up for. That's why I wanted to rap. You know what I mean? I wanted to rap so I could become an MC. And I want to become an MC so I could become a fucking god. You know? So, when you think about it, that's a bag. That's a big bag. You become wealthy by filling voids. You got 99 problems. You're supposed to be looking for the problems and then solving them through algorithms and just through deep thought, collective thought, or individual thought. But we live in a time where your thoughts could become prototypes in 24 hours. You could turn a fucking thought into a website in 24 hours. You know what I'm talking about? A whole website with prototypes and everything. Merch. You know. Yeah, you don't want to be a sucker MC. And for the Lils and the Youngs, all of the Lils, is more than 8,000 of you niggas out there. The Lils, where's my I had a Gremlin pack, some Gizmo weed the other day. That's my Lils. These niggas is gremlins. It used to be Gizmo. They turned into the gremlins. You fed them past midnight. And now it's 8,000 Lils. But if the 8,000 Lils want to be considered true artists, you know, I see the need for orientation. There needs to be a rites of passage. You know what I mean? This culture is too prestigious. And it's too valuable. It would help the value increase overall if there was some type of skill set, or because they're gonna think about it. They're gonna give niggas a rating. There's gonna be a rating system. It's gonna be a way to rate you. Like how they have movie actors. They call them, when you're top of Hollywood, you're an A-lister. And then you're a B-lister. And then you're a C-lister. Nigga, the A-listers become A-listers because they remember their lines. They're like method actors. They become the motherfucking role. You know what I mean? They sink into the role. They not only remember the lines, they become the lines. Those people get rewarded in at the award shows, multiple awards. They recognize them for that talent and that quote unquote ability. Everybody don't have that, my nigga. Me and you could be in a movie tomorrow. We're not gonna be necessarily A-listers unless we got that gift. You feel me? We might read a few lines. We might be like LeBron in Space Jams 2, nigga. We just might just show up to be there. I don't even know if you could call that a B-lister. But I'm just saying, you understand what I mean. There's levels to acting. Then there's levels to this music shit. You know? The DipSet, they should sign up to the LOX Academy. Get on the motherfucking, get in the juice bar with the gourds, right? Remember, we just did something with Styles P in Kentucky in April for wait, was that Juneteenth? Yeah, no, for Juneteenth, nigga, not April. We just did something with Styles P in Kentucky in June. And people in my network already know. I was letting y'all know about Styles P, but I'm like, yo, Styles P is finna turn up. You know? Styles P got, he coming with some work. That's my favorite rapper for gangster rap. But I saw what he was, I saw the potential that he possessed. And in a few months, he's able to show the world. That's a beautiful thing. Stay down until you come up, my niggas. Everybody's gonna have their day. You just keep it. You see how tight they stay together until they hit they lick, because this is a lick right here. You know what I mean? The level of appreciation, the level of opportunities that will exist out of their demonstration. Sticking together, staying together, staying focused on the goal, not dick riding and trying to be fake kicking it with niggas that you don't rock with and don't rock with you. You know what I mean? And you could see certain things about them that you like, yeah, they gonna fit, they gonna do what everybody else does. They gonna fall off the ledge. Yeah, Jimmy fell off the ledge, right? I guess he didn't know the ledge. So salute to them. I'm sure, like I said, everything is a learning opportunity. Everything is a lesson and a blessing at the same time. So I'm able to sit back and learn from my OGs and from my young G's, what to do and certain things not to do. Because with the wisdom that age brings to you and experience, you're able to really see shit for the way that it needs to be seen. Because me and you could watch the verses and one person to see something completely different than what I'm looking at. A lot of people was nervous because they was being rambunctious, but that's that New York energy. That's that New York energy. I hope they are ready by the tour. Tour's right around the corner, but that'd be a beautiful thing, and that's a goal that they could reach. I know Jimmy could do it because he's in the gym. I know Cam could do it too. They just gotta there can't be no weak link. There's artists out here in their 60s and they still rocking Breath Control. They remember they shit and everything. I'm telling myself I'm ready to go to the hip hop the motherfucker the hip hop, I'll call it the Hip Hop Tour Academy, to create some of the best stage shows that you've ever seen. Because if you haven't noticed, that's the lick. It's the stage show. That separates mice from men. It's not necessarily the booth. It's the actual stage. That's where gods are made. Remember the Apollo? When you rub on the wood and whatnot, you stand on that stage. You're not standing in a booth. You're not in Rap City basement and whatnot. You're standing on that stage in front of a live audience. And you got to make sure you don't get booed off that bitch and the Sandman come and pull you off and break your dreams in half. So, yeah, even when you in Jamaica, the stage show, right? When you in dance hall, what's the biggest event? It's the stage show. That's where you had all of the rivalries go down. Beanie versus Bounty. You even had Gaza versus Gully on the stage show. Ninja Man, the Super Cat caught his body. You know what I'm talking about? And then you have the sound clashes. Next time they do a versus, make sure the opening DJ understands the assignment. You feel me? That nigga started out lit. I ain't gonna lie. He had me rolling up. I rolled up the last of the bud. You know what I'm talking about? I was like, okay, this is feeling like New York again. You know, I need all New York. You know, we need all New York parties. No offense to anybody that's not from New York, but I've been out of town for years, and they make it their business not to play the New York music. And I get it because there's a lot of down south music that's lit. So I guess you niggas don't have time. And, you know, you're not, you know, whatever. But it's too many New Yorkers out of town to not have clubs where you just every weekend is just all New York vibes. That's therapeutic. Like, I don't think y'all understand that those of us that are out of town and we in the trenches of anything, any we could be in the trenches of 9 to 5, the trenches of corporate, the trenches of any industry, the trenches of the truck driver world, whatever it may be. We, especially if we are expats from New York, if we on the road and whatnot, we got to get plugged back in through those you know, those situations. You know, golden era New York, mixtape New York. You know, we need that. Like how Atlanta had MJG. Was that the name of the club? MJG, where they was playing hip hop on Fridays. Yeah, you know, new. I don't, like I said, you only have one culture. We only have one culture, and I don't give a fuck. MJQ, I don't give a fuck what nobody says, nigga. You can't overlook 90s hip hop, especially the 90s mixtape, New York City tunnel era. That is a whole fucking wave in itself. Promise you. I might have the time. I don't know if I have enough time. You know, I got plans to you know, I'm gonna get out of here before Jeff Bezos and the other boy, what's his name? Richard Branson. We supposed to be getting picked up by the Federation before these niggas try to lead the planet. But if I have time, I'm gonna do a few of those parties, and I'm gonna show. I'm gonna show. Do you know? Cause I got a vision, and it's like I don't know if anybody else had that same vision, but yeah, we need them. We need them NY, them vibes. You know, Clue Tape, the Ron G, the whole SNS night. You don't have to, and we're not set tripping. I don't care if you from Boise, Idaho. It don't matter. You know I don't care about the boroughs and the states, and I don't trip on none of that because we all dance to different tunes and different drums, but we all still move to the same beat. So I for one, if somebody's like, yo, we doing a whole Louisiana NO night, nigga, I'm pulling up because I want to be in that vibe. I want to be in that vortex. So just understand what that vortex is and tap in. But look, my time is up. I'm out of here. Third Eye Thursdays tomorrow on Know the Ledge Media. Tap in. All right. And get your tickets for When in Rome. That's going to come out this month. Peace.